Let me put the slides up. Share my screen, put slides up. All righty. So let me go ahead and get started. So good evening, everyone. I'm so glad to have you here tonight. My name is Jennifer Matthews, and we are, hey Gail, we are here with Developing Your Debt-Free Dream Lifestyle. Come here live every Thursday night. And yes, Jennifer Matthews with Matthews on Money, and it's all about getting out of debt. And I coach Henry's, like a man's name. HE stands for high earner, NRY, not rich yet. High earner, not rich yet. A lot of people make really good money and they just are not where they think they ought to be. And I just help you get there. And the thing is, you can be debt-free. The media doesn't want you to be debt-free because the media and the advertisers, they make money. The more debt you're in, the more money that they make. And the more money you earn, the more that you spend. So it's just a vicious cycle, and it has all types of repercussions on your relationships, on your health, all kinds of things. So you can be debt-free. I'm here every Thursday night giving tidbits. Let me get the legal stuff out the way. Individual financial results may vary. Jennifer S. Matthews, Creating Financial Literacy, LLC, and any of its entities do not render financial, legal, tax, or real estate advice. The content is for informational purposes only, which means you go do your homework. Okay, y'all. Oh, let me tell you how to find the videos on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Matthews on Money, all one word. Matthews on Money, all one word, is here on the screen. Then you hit the subscribe button so that you know when I will upload something, and watch the videos. This one tonight, this is going to be must-see TV. This is one that you are going to want to watch over and over again. Saturday, man, I had the honor of someone sponsored me and my books, Operation Hope. Shout out Operation Hope, Janae Roscoe. Shout out, hope you're watching today. Sponsored me and my books at the Alfred Street Baptist Church HBCU Festival. 11,000 people at the Gaylord Convention Center in National Harbor, right outside of Washington, D.C. 11,000 young people at the HBCU Festival. This thing was phenomenal. Go look on my personal Facebook page. The HBCUs were there. Some of them admitted students on the spot. Some of them gave scholarships from $1,000 up to a full ride. I met young people that walked into the door like this, empty-handed, and walked out with a full ride scholarship, admission and a full ride. The day was just amazing. It was just amazing. But here on my YouTube page, it was a while ago. Oh, see, I'm looking at it. Over 2 months ago, I did one of these Thursday nights. I did a video called How to Get a Tuition-Free Degree. It's on the YouTube channel. So if you have young people, I would say 7th grade on up, you need to bring them to that HBCU festival. This was the 18th year. So they need to be there. I met a gentleman who drove all night from Alabama to take his 10th grade son to the HBCU festival and spend the day with his son. And then he was turning around to drive back to Alabama so he could go to work Monday. Commitment and dedication from a dad. So that was Saturday. And then on the YouTube channel, tonight's video, you must watch again and send people to watch tonight's video. And then if you have young people who want to go to school, don't have money, on that video is a list of colleges that don't charge tuition, trade schools, because college is not for everyone, trade schools that don't charge tuition, how to get scholarships for grad school as well, all on that video. All right, let's get into tonight. Okay, the love letter that we all need to write. The love letter that we all need to write. If you were on here last Thursday, we were going through, I tell y'all, I don't know what I'm going to talk about from week to week. So what I thought I was going to talk about was part 2 in the 5-step signature money system that I use to get people out of debt. Last week, we talked about the letter M, which stands for mindset. Today, we were supposed to talk about step 2, money, M-O-N-E-Y, 5 steps. Mindset, observation, knowledge, execution, yearning. We were supposed to talk about observation tonight. Okay. Grab something to write with. You're going to need to write. Even if you're on Zoom and you can see the slides, you're still going to need to write. That's why this video is must-see TV. Okay, y'all, I've been jacked up all week. Gail is from Philly. She jacked up all week too. The world is jacked up. Sunday, there's a picture on the screen here. Sunday is a tragedy. Kobe Bryant is from kind of Philly. We territorial in Philly, y'all, so we territorial. He was from across the street, and we territorial like that. So he was from Lower Merion, which is like across the street from Philadelphia. And there were 9 people on the helicopter. And on my screen, I have all 9. Kobe and Gianna, the pilot, Era Zobayan, Christina Mauser. I watched the interview with her husband. It just broke my heart. He just said, you know, he's scared for the future. Alyssa Altobelli and her parents, John and Carrie, and Sarah and Peyton. They were all 9 who were on the helicopter. And the whole thing just jacked me up. And I have a scripture here, Isaiah 55, 8 and 9. For my thoughts are not your thought, nor are your ways my ways, say the Lord. 9 young people, young souls. Tonight is not about them. It is about us. I knew my heater was going to come on. I should have turned the heat off. Okay, it's right behind me. So good thing I got the good microphone here. So let's get into tonight and this love letter. That is the point. These 9 young souls, great people, good and bad things happen to good people, okay? So good and bad things happen to good people. So these 9 people are no longer with us. And like I said, it jacked me up, okay? So this presentation tonight, I'm reading from the slide, is not a substitute for a will. It's not a substitute for a power of attorney or any other legal document. It's not a substitute for any legal guidance or advice. You need to consult with an attorney, a financial advisor, a CPA, and other professionals to assess and protect your family needs. And then I have a URL here for the love letter. I am not getting any commissions. I'm not getting anything, okay? No affiliate commissions or anything. This URL, www.family familyloveletter.com takes you straight to the author of the book's website. Nothing in it for me. I don't think you can buy this book on Amazon. Last time I looked, it was not on Amazon. www.familyloveletter.com. Somebody shared it with me about 2 or 3 years ago, and this thing like blew my mind. I put it in my newsletter, and I know my readers, most of them probably just like blew it off. But after Sunday, I had to double back around and dedicate a whole night to this book. Dedicate a whole night to this book. So on the screen is the cover of the book. It's the Family Love Letter, Information in a Time of Confusion. And I have the URL again, familyloveletter.com. And what I'm going to do now, if you're on the screen, is I'm going to go to the excerpts of the book. Let's see, share and switch over to the book. Oh, I got this heater behind me. Okay, so here's what the gist of the love letter is. If something were to happen, so let's take Sunday, okay? Let's take Sunday's accident. And let's take Kobe out of it. Let's take celebrity out of it. And let's take it and let it be ordinary people, us. And let's make it what it is. That accident happened at the end of the month. Sunday, 7 days to Saturday is the first of the month. There were breadwinners on that helicopter. And there was a couple, a husband and wife on there with their child, one of 3 children. They left 2 children without parents. Who and how is that mortgage or rent getting paid Saturday, day after tomorrow? Those 2 children with no parents, essentially orphaned. Who and how is the February 1st rent or mortgage getting paid by those 2 children who lost their parents in that helicopter? Now, let me say this for those of you who don't know me or did not read some of the stuff I put out this week leading up to this. A year ago today, my father went in the ICU. He did come out, but we lost him within 4 weeks. Totally unexpected. Totally unexpected. February 27th, we lost my dad. 58 years of marriage, my mother had never paid a bill. When she picked up the phone, it was a dial tone. And when he passed away, she did not know if that dial tone belonged to Verizon or Comcast. My dad did not have a love letter. She had no clue. I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out. Trying to adjust my screen down here for Zoom. Y'all looking at the top of my head. She didn't know. There was no love letter. His finances were in order. I knew there was no mortgage on their condo. How about this? We only knew how to pay the condo fee because now he went into ICU on the 30th of January. So February 1st, I took my mom to the hospital with 3 different checkbooks. And she asked him, which one do I pay the condo fee out of? And he told her. So on February 27th, when he died, she knew which checkbook to pay March 1st condo fee out of. Only because she had paid it for the first time in her life, February 1st. But for all of those adults on that helicopter, what happens in their household today, tomorrow, Saturday, when that first of the month rent or mortgage is due? What is happening right now in those households? That's what the love letter is about. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? That's what the love letter is about. And it's deeper than that. But I'm trying to get your attention so that you hanging on with me. Don't say, oh, well, they're going to sue the helicopter company. No, not in 7 days. They're not. Not even 77 days. Oh, well, they're celebrities. Well, the rest of us are not. The everyday people have everyday bills. This love letter is for real. www.familyloveletter.com. So here on the screen, I'm going to show you some of it, okay? In the love letter. And let me say this, P.S. Of course, you fill out the love letter doesn't mean something's going to happen to you. But what it does is your family members and your friends, when everything is crazy like it is right now for those 9, the family and friends of those 9, they can pull up this piece of paper, this love letter, and not have to stress and worry and look for stuff because it's all in one place. They don't have to figure out whether it's Verizon or Comcast because they know it's in the love letter. They know who the mortgage company is. They know who to make the rent check out to. It's in the love letter. Because y'all know you do online banking. But guess what, y'all? The password, password, right? Because it's password protected. It's in the love letter because nobody can access anything. Yes, that's why this love letter is so important. Everything is password protected. I can't even show you my phone right now because I'm on Facebook. But all this stuff is in the phone. Right now I'm on my phone and I'm on my computer at the same time. I can't even show you it. But you're getting my point. If something were to happen, temporarily incapacitated, it doesn't even have to be permanent. I mean, Gail, because you said hi to me, I'm going to use you as an example. I know you, your family, your husband, your kids. You know, do y'all know each other's passwords? I'm going to talk throughout this. I'm going to tell you some of the challenges that me and my mom had with a will, uncontested will, sole beneficiary, and finances in order down to the 9s. My father was meticulous. And it still took effort and months. Okay, so on the screen, in your love letter, who's your accountant? Who's your attorney? If you have one, it doesn't mean you have to have all of this, but if you do, write it down. Because these folks have your records. My mother can call my accountant. She's got all of my records. She's got all, hey Gail, www.familyloveletter.com. Boom. My accountant has all of my records. And within those records, all of my financial statements, all of my investment documents. Okay? Who's your employer? So your employer can be notified. And if you've got life insurance and other benefits through your employer, they start that ball rolling. So my father retired from the city of Philadelphia. He retired from some places in Atlantic City. I contacted all of those folks and they did their thing. Do you have a financial planner? There's a space here for them. Life, health, disability insurance advisor, so that all of those people can be contacted at the appropriate time. Who holds your mortgage? They need to be contacted at the appropriate time. Right now, for those 9 families, I'd be like, yo, if that thing is not on auto draft, I'd be like, look, I'm gonna pay y'all, but I just need you to put a note in the file right now that it's coming. Okay, don't start foreclosure if you don't get that payment by the 15th, because right now my head is not in it. But the number is right here. It's in the document. Pension benefits. The number is here in the document. Property and casualty insurance, stockbroker. Again, you don't have to have these things, but right now, while you chilling, because all is calm in the world, you write the love letter so that, God forbid, the world falls apart. Your family has this document because you love them. And in a time when all hell is breaking loose, they can turn to this document and say, Jennifer loved me enough to write all of this out. And in the middle of the night when I can't sleep, I can at least flip through this and I can take some stickies and I can prioritize. I walked around with a notebook with all my father's stuff in a spiral notebook. And that was my checklist. And I just kept it. Somebody asked me for my social security number and I was 5 digits into his before I realized I was giving out the wrong one. I was 5 digits into his social before I realized, oop, nope, because I had been giving his out so much. Because I didn't have all of this. I had to put this stuff together. I had to piece this together. Okay, so got a couple of places for stockbrokers and other. Who else does your loved ones need to contact? God forbid something happens. Your assets. Here is a list of my stocks, bonds, and other investments, including real property. It says here, I have listed a contact person, a telephone number for each one, as well as the location of any documents. If you have the certificates or blah, 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 blah. And it says I have or I have not, checkbox. Attach the financial statement. And then there's just room. I have, attached it. P.S. I would include the email address if you have it. Okay. So here's room for all the assets. If you have them, if you don't, you don't. But the point is there's space for it at a time when everything is calm. Like we were cleaning up and we're finding these funky shaped keys. And we're like, what is this? Like, I don't know. Like back in the day, y'all used to have safe deposit boxes. You think this is a safe deposit key? Mm-hmm. So we threw the keys away. We don't know what the keys are for. We threw them away. We have no idea. They were my dad's in the nightstand next to his side of the bed. We don't know what the keys were for. I have no clue. But something like this would have told us what those keys were for. So here there's places to list all of your investment information. Now, here you go. Money is owed to us by this person. Now, here's the good part. This loan is signed in writing, yes or no. Guess what? If it's not signed in writing, you have a hard time collecting because it's he said, she said against a person that can't speak to it. But if it's signed in writing, attach it. And there's places for that. It's places for that. Now, here's a line that says, I want the following loans forgiven at the time of my death. So you can't go collecting. Well, I know you owe my dad all this money. No, because my dad wrote here that he was forgiving you for it. So I can't go and collect because my dad wrote here in his love letter that he forgives you for it. So I can't go and say, you owe my dad $5,000 and I want it. Because it's right here in the love letter. And that will tame some family feuds for generations to come. Okay, so it talks about deposits in different accounts. So that information goes in here. Loans and stored assets, where are they? You have a storage unit. Where is the storage unit? Somebody's got to make a payment on the storage unit. Where's the storage unit? Particularly military folks, y'all move around the country. Where's the storage unit? Where's the key to the storage unit? What's the combination to the lock on the storage unit? All of this goes in the love letter. Because especially if it's unforeseen tragedy like Sunday, folks that are left, they lose their minds and their memories. They don't remember stuff. Poor Vanessa's got a toddler and a newborn. She's lucky she knows her name at this point. You think she's gonna remember a storage locker and a combination? No. But if it was written down in a love letter that she can pick up 2 months from now and say, oh yeah, oh, and that's the combination? Oh, okay. Here's what I loaned folks. I loaned so-and-so some art. I loaned so-and-so such and such. It's in the love letter. If you loan somebody something that you want back, put it in the love letter. When they return it, cross it off the love letter. All of this is in there. My liabilities. This is important. Here's one. I'm getting phone calls because I didn't want my mom to get phone calls. So I gave everybody my contact information. My dad is one of those people that put everything on a credit card and paid it off at the end of the month because they went on vacation every year using the points. So he died at the end of the month. So, okay, so he was in the hospital at the end of January. He came out like the middle of February. So he paid some of January's credit card bills and then he passed away. So he didn't pay, I don't know if he paid all of them off, but he definitely, yeah, he didn't pay all of them off because he didn't make any charges in February. So when he died, all of those debts get canceled. But there are debt collectors that buy the debt of the deceased and try to collect it. It's a little game they play. Can't play that game with me. So they call me. Well, do you know who's responsible for the debt of Mr. Arthur Matthews? Nope, sure don't. Oh. We getting those kind of calls. So the liabilities need to be listed. The liabilities need to be listed. There are some that need to be paid for. My mom is not on any of those debts, so she's not responsible. They want to know who she is so that they can try to scare her into paying them. but they don't know she exists. They only know me. Hey, what can I say? Y'all call me all you want. I'll block your number. I don't care. But list the liabilities, because I needed to know so I could send them a copy of the death certificate and they cancel the debt. And then they're not, ringing the phone off the hook. I canceled all those debts. Once I knew what they were, actually, I pulled this credit report. So I had a list of everything that was open, and I started canceling what was open. Because again, I didn't have this. So the fastest way for me to find out what he had was to pull his credit and see what was open. And I started canceling stuff because I know how he travels on credit card points. So I had to cancel the credit cards that were open. But here in the love letter, you list all the liabilities. So I'm just scrolling down in the love letter. Who do you co-sign for? That's here in the love letter too. If you listen to me, you ain't co-sign for nobody. Don't co-sign, y'all. But if you have co-signed because you did it before you met me, list who you co-sign for. Okay? Because that's important. List your credit cards. List your credit cards. Remember, some of this stuff still has to be paid. And again, the family members, their minds are everywhere. This is a love letter because, I'm gonna be honest, look, I'm just throwing it out there. My brother was a wreck. He couldn't help with this. And I didn't get started on this until I think it was April. My dad passed, it was April. He passed the end of February. And by the time we got through the funeral, I needed to check out. And I went away for a couple of days. And all my mom wanted was to pay the phone bill. And let me talk about that, because that's important. That's part of this as well. All she wanted was to pay the phone bill because she was 84 at that time, and that was her lifeline. The landline was her lifeline to her friends. And I figured out it was Comcast, and February had not been paid. And by now it was late March. So we were 2 months behind. So I called them and I said, February wasn't paid. I need to pay March, and tell me how much I owe so I can pay it. And they said, we can't talk to you because your name is not on the bill. Get that? Your name is not on the bill, so we can't tell you. I said, hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me I'm trying to give you money and you can't tell me how much I owe you because my name is not on the bill? I said, you got all these people with delinquent accounts and I'm trying to give you money. I'm calling and telling you I owe money, asking you how much so I can pay you in full, and you won't tell me because my name is not on the account. He said, that's right. That's our policy. My friends had me covered in prayer because I was sure enough set to cuss them out. But I didn't. I hung up the phone. I called Verizon. I cut Comcast off, and I changed the phone to Verizon because Verizon was willing to talk to me. That's called a clue. Because my mother's name was not on the Comcast bill, they could not talk to me. I later learned when I wrote the president of Comcast about my experience that the FCC, by law, they couldn't tell me. But what they should have done was the person should have told me to pick up the landline and call customer service, and the recording would have registered the number and told me what the outstanding balance was. So it's very important for you, as part of your love letter and your research, to decide if you want more than one person's name on certain accounts. There are pros and cons. So like with a credit card, that person becomes liable for the debt. Now, my mom's name was on all my dad's bank accounts, except one. The smallest one, damn it. Oh, okay, I didn't mean to say that. The smallest one. Because her name was on all the accounts, those accounts were easy for me to transfer over. And they were all the same bank. That one account that her name wasn't on, I almost had to go to probate court for. I almost had to go and open up probate court because her name wasn't on it. So we at the bank, and it's like 4 or 5 different accounts, and they could not talk to us about that one account, knowing full well that she's the beneficiary. We had the will, we had everything. We had the death certificate, we had everything. But because her name was not on that account and I didn't have a short certificate, that account, less than $2,000, was an issue. Because her name was not on that account. Just like Comcast couldn't give me the balance, the amount we owed them, because her name was not on that account. My name wasn't on that account. It was an issue. The other issue, one of the other issues I ran into, was my father's car. We couldn't find a title. So he has a 20-year-old car, and we wanted to donate it to charity. And without the title, I was going to have to go to probate court. So I have a car that's worth 50 cents, and I got a bank account with less than $2,000 in it, like 1,000 something, like, I don't know, close to $1,000. Probate court was going to cost me more than the car and the bank account, because her name was not on those two things. The car wasn't even running. I had to call AAA. It was in the garage. I had to call AAA to jumpstart the car so I could drive it outside to get the charity to come and pick it up to tow it away. And I almost had to go to probate court. We found the title, and her name was on the title. You want to talk about a sister tap dancing and jumping for joy? And how we got around a bank account was the statement came in the mail, and we took the statement and the will to the bank, to the teller we had been dealing with for 2 months. And she was like, okay. And that's how I got around going to probate court. It's hard, y'all. It's a lot. This love letter is real. And now that everything is password protected and online, on lockdown, You need this love letter for your loved ones. You got to do this love letter. So, credit cards. Then it's got a section for what do you lease? Section for what else do your loved ones need to know? Now it's talking about insurance and benefits. Please make sure the premiums on these policies continue to be paid if I become disabled. I have a long-term care insurance policy. I have designated a friend to make sure that that policy keeps getting paid if something happens to me. So if I miss one payment, that thing gets dropped. That thing gets dropped. So that's in here too. So critically important. www.familyloveletter.com. Okay. Then it has places here about whether you have or have not attached information, whether insurance policies allow or don't allow for prepayment. All that stuff is in here. Okay. A lot of stuff in here about insurance policies. Then it talks about other policies: auto, umbrella, home, boat, airplane. I ain't got a boat or airplane. Okay. Policies on jewelry, your employment benefits, retirement, military, survivor, life insurance. We're going to talk about life insurance in a minute. Something really important about life insurance. Okay. Any other benefits that you have. Okay. Other documents. The love letter, as I mentioned earlier, is not a substitute for a will or other legal documents. Here it says, do you have a will? The date signed, the location, or checkbox for not applicable. You need a will. Who's going to take care of your children? Have you designated someone? Have you talked to them? If you have a special needs child, who's going to take care of them after you're gone? Do you have a living will, medical power of attorney, medical directive? My father was DNR, do not resuscitate. I was with him when he stopped breathing. I called 911. I said, my father is DNR. He just stopped breathing. He is do not resuscitate. So send the paramedics, but don't tell him to come in here and start, doing anything heroic, because he don't want that. Power of attorney, living trust, all of that is listed here. And where's the paperwork? Is there a prenup? Is there a postnup? Is there a divorce decree? All of that. Is there a burial agreement? All of that is here. Where's the paperwork? Because guess what? My father had to do not resuscitate, and we did not have the paperwork. And the paramedics were like, well, you don't have the paperwork. We have to work on him. We're like, no, you don't. Figure something out. Because that's not what he wants. And they were like, looking at supervisors like, what are we supposed to do? I was like, I don't know what you're supposed to do, but I know what you're not supposed to do. At 3 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so where are the records? Are they in a filing cabinet, safe deposit box, home safe, at the attorney's office? All of that is here. Because again, folks are losing their mind because, something major is going on. Somebody is disabled, an accident, or they're deceased. They don't need to have to be thinking right now. The love letter stops people from having to think. Where are your tax returns? Okay. Is there an inheritance somewhere? What happens after I pass? My mom wants to be cremated and buried with her brother. So simple. So simple. And then this document just goes on, to talk about your favorite songs, what you want at your service, all that kind of stuff. Big one is passwords, email addresses. We have passwords on everything. You really have to think that one through. Business owners, you really got to think that one through. And then what do you want to happen with the business? My father had a business and nobody wanted it. I didn't settle the business until September. He died in February. I didn't settle his business until September. And technically, I can't really close it out until this tax season. So technically, I'm still working on his estate because he had a business. But I don't want it. My brother doesn't want it. If you are a business owner, whether it's a home-based business or something else, what happens to the business? Because it has to be legally dissolved. That was a whole nother headache I had to deal with, was the business. And business banking, oh, Lord, have mercy. That was a whole nightmare in and of itself. Okay. So I'm gonna go back and make sure I didn't miss anything. Here it's saying, what is your social security number, your driver's license number, your Medicare number, your passport number? Where is your passport? What is your religious organization? Member of the following fraternal group. So if the person is member of a fraternal group or sorority or whatever, call a member of the organization and give them all of their fraternal and sorority stuff. Do not dispose of it on your own. They know what to do with that. Do not dispose of any of it on your own. Give it to a member of the organization to dispose of, please. Yep. I think I've covered just about everything else. Talks about in the event of my incapacity, in the event of my death. If you have a particular funeral home you want to use, if you have a cemetery plot where your paperwork is, you do or do not want to be cremated. If you want to, lay out your order of service, that's all here. If you are an organ donor, put that here. If it's not on your license, all of that stuff, lay it out here. Yeah, this thing, I love it. So that is the love letter. But there's some more things that we need to just touch on before I close. Because again, I have my own little personal experience. So we're back to the PowerPoint slides. So for passwords and joint access, I touched on this a little bit. List your passwords. Speak with an estate attorney. Took my mom to an estate attorney after all of this. Speak with an estate attorney and decide if you want a joint owner on at least one bank account. Get an understanding of probate laws in your state and decide what is in your family's best interest. The probate laws vary from state to state. Make sure that minor children are taken care of. How do you want to deal with cars? Again, we had an issue until I found the title, Pennsylvania. Let me clarify that, because I live in Maryland, but my parents lived in Pennsylvania. So I was dealing with Pennsylvania probate laws, particularly in the city of Philadelphia. So minor children, cars, banking. We had that one account where it was just his name on that one account. It was an issue. Until I found a title on a car, it was an issue. How are you going to deal with the house? In our case, both of their names are on the title to the condo, so it was not a problem. My dad, I'm telling you, the records were meticulous. But if your records are not meticulous, it's going to be an issue. And there's so much more. So you really want to talk to a probate attorney. And now if you live in one state and you're planning on retiring to another state, how do your legal documents transfer from one state to another? Or if you're going to leave property behind, how does that transfer? If you're going to have like a winter home in Florida or something like that, how is that going to work? Business owners, what happens to your business? I already mentioned that. So here are some questions based upon what happened on Sunday. If one or both adults in your house become disabled or passes away, can your current household bills be paid for 2 to 3 months? Is there money in the bank? We always talk about, having 2 to 3 months of living expenses set aside. But we're always thinking, well, that's if I get laid off or lose my job. Okay, no, it's not. There were adults on that helicopter. And that was 7 days before the first of the month, and bills are due. And 2 children became orphaned. They lost both of their parents, and those bills have to be paid on Saturday. Can someone access the money? So in all of those cases, were the spouse's names on those bank accounts? And in the case of those 2 children, is there someone that can access their parents' bank accounts to be able to pay the rent or mortgage come this weekend and the utility bills into February? This is important stuff. Who can get in the bank account to be able to pay bills? Is there money in the bank account? Once they get in there, is there anything in there? This is a critical question. Can your children continue their current education? Okay, if they're in private school, K to 12, or if they're in college and something were to happen, does that mean they have to drop out of school because a parent is gone or income is lost? Can you or the kids stay in their home? With what money? Okay, continuing the same line of questions. Okay, let's say the kids are in public school, K to 12. Will they be able to go to college if something happens to one or both parents? With what money? Who will take care of your children? So in the case where the couple was on the plane, on the helicopter, and they left 2 children behind, who's going to take care of them? Who's going to put them through college? What if you had an unfortunate task of needing to bury a child? Do you have a burial policy on your children? What happens if something happens to your ex and you lose your alimony or your child support? Can you still take care of your kids? So what a lot of people don't know, and I'm not a life insurance agent, you can get life insurance, whether you're married, separated, or divorced. You can get life insurance on the father or the mother of your child, of your children, whether you're married, separated, or divorced. And don't think in terms of, well, they make $100,000, get $100,000 policy. No. Okay. So think in terms of one child, and I'm just round numbers because it's late, $500,000. Okay, so if that child is in, let's say, 9th grade, 10th grade, something, $500,000, because you need, if the person was making $100,000, you're going to lose that $100,000 a year, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, and you still need $50,000 a year for college. So $500,000 would be the $1,000 a year salary plus $50,000 a year for college. So don't think the $1,000 replaces salary. That's an every year thing. Now, how does it work if you're not together? And go talk to an insurance agent, because I'm not an agent. Okay, I'm just letting you know questions and food for thought. So if I have a child and I'm divorced, or we're not together, or whatever, I take out the policy on him. I'm the beneficiary and I pay the premiums. He has to agree to it, but I pay the premiums. And it's in my best interest for him to live, okay? So I'm not trying to do anything to harm him. But if something were to happen, the child is taken care of, or the child's a beneficiary. I don't know. The insurance agent will tell you how to do it. But the point is, you're taking care of that child if something were to happen to him. And a lot of parents don't know that. Whether you're still a family unit or not, to have those insurance policies to protect the child. Okay? I know someone who was divorced. They just happened to be divorced. It didn't matter if they were divorced or not. And he died unexpectedly, and she had 4 children. One of them was a senior or junior in college, the oldest one, who then wanted to go to medical school, and she had 3 more to go. And he died unexpectedly. It didn't matter that they weren't married. She still had 3 more to go to college, and the oldest one going to go to medical school. I don't know if there was a life insurance policy or not. But if there was, and it was big enough, it would cover college for the 3 youngest one and med school for the oldest one. Life insurance. And life insurance has changed. It's now a living benefit. It's no longer a death benefit. Talk to a life insurance agent, because now you can pull money out of life insurance policies and use it while you are living and healthy and living. Okay? That's part of the homework. Action items. Discuss who will care for your minor children. If you got grandkids and your kids are not on this video, I told you this is in the must see. This is going to be up on YouTube in the next couple days. Get with your kids. Who's going to take care of my grandkids? You know your grandkids walk on water. Get with your children. How are my babies going to be taken care of? God forbid something happens to you because I'm too old. I love them, but I'm too old. Okay? And who will care for your special needs children? And get agreement from the caregivers. Write your love letters, www.familyloveletter.com. Meet with an estate attorney, insurance agent, financial advisor, CPA, and anybody else you think you need to meet with to protect yourself and your family. You never know. Bad things happen to good people and good things happen to good people. Okay, so where does the money come from? So God forbid something happens, it takes a couple of months to settle this stuff out. You don't want to be in a situation of needing a GoFundMe or being put out. You know, like I said, this was 7 days. The helicopter went down on Sunday and the bills got to be paid on Saturday. You know, having a landlord evicting you at the end of February because there was no money in the account for the bills for the month. And now the family is getting put out. Hey, Marlene, I'm talking about the love letter that you introduced me to. I love it. Marlene just joined and she's the one that introduced me to the love letter because her financial advisor introduced it to her. You know, there's got to be those couple of months of savings, of living expenses. This is a prime reason why. Accidents happen every day. Diagnoses happen every day. So for a couple of weeks now, I've been talking about the Kickstart Your Money in 2020. Sunday blew my mind. Like I said, Gail and I from Philly, we knew who Kobe was before the world did. Okay? So 2020 Financial Accountability Kickstart, been talking about it for weeks. You need to get in. I'm just going to say you need to get in. It's an 8-week online group accountability coaching. We start next week. Right after this call, we go into it. Okay? There's a weekly action prompt, bi-weekly Zoom call, private Facebook group, $247. After that helicopter went down, I was like, you know what? I'm extending the $50 Fast Action Scholarship. It's $197, and that's it. It's $197, and we are going to organize your finances so that you can grow your money and have you be on your way. You're going to know how you're going to get that 2 to 3 months of living expenses so that your money is in order. Okay, getting that spending under control. We're just action items. Okay, go to Kickstart 2020.gr the number 8.com. Kickstart 2020.gr the number 8.com. Get in the Kickstart. Now, what I did was I added another bonus. So the Kickstart 2020 comes with a copy of my first book, 12 Ways to Put Money in Your Pocket Every Month Without a Part-Time Job. If you register a friend with you, so you bring a friend, both of you will get my second book, 5 Simple Steps to a Debt-Free Life. Okay, so the first, when you register yourself, the bonus is my first book, 12 Ways to Put Money in Your Pocket Every Month Without a Part-Time Job. But when you register a friend, let me know who your friend is, and both of you will get as an extra bonus 5 Simple Steps to a Debt-Free Life. Because again, you can be debt-free, but write your love letter. Write your love letter. That helicopter crash just did something to me, and we just got to get it together. We have got to get it together. Like I said, today is the 1 year anniversary of my dad going into ICU. We lost him on February 27th. I went through this with no love letter, with an uncontested will and finances in order. And it took a long time for me to transfer his assets. It's a lot of work when you have finances in order. When finances are not in order, I can't imagine. I was walking around saying, I don't know what people do when the stuff is a mess. I was just like dumbfounded by all of it. I really was. So please, please, please write your love letter, www.familyloveletter.com. Get in the financial Kickstart. Go to Kickstart2020.gr, the number 8.com. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. I am here to be your accountability partner. I will see you next week. It's Thursday. Hey, Marlene, you going to the airport? We're going to the airport to feed people. It's Thursday. We're going to feed the homeless. So I know this was a little bit longer. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm just passionate between, this time, coming up on the 1 year with my dad, and then the tragedy with, last week. So I'm passionate about this one, y'all. I extended the scholarship, put some extra bonuses, so you'll bring a friend, because I don't want, when it's your time, it's your time. But for those of us who are left behind when it's someone else's time, having the finances in order just makes it a little bit easier. So I really did want to share this. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a good night.